Bosco received their trophy. As you may or may not have picked up, the Golden Boot Award winner for the leading goal scorer in the competition in the Women's Premier League this year was shared between Tilly Handforth of Bosco, the champions, and Melody Nelson from Gaimea United. The Player of the Year, as voted by the referees after every match on a 3-2-1 basis, was Bailey Gibbons of Gaimea, and Alex Clark was the Player of the Match award winner for the goal that she scored that decided that women's grand final, won by Bosco by a 1-0. So all is in place now for the last match of the 2023 SSFA season, the Men's Premier League grand final between arguably the two best sides in club football, men's club football at an amateur park level in Sydney, if not New South Wales, if not Australia. They certainly have great pedigree, Como Janelli and the Cronulla Seagulls. And a rematch of the 2022, the last of the old Division 1 SSFA Grand Finals, which was won by Como on penalties. It may end up that way again this afternoon. They've proved to be the two best sides of the competition again this year. We do it all, of course, for our great friends, Green Options, Deploy Football and Sophie B Photography, who have been with us all year from when we started way back on March the 19th in 35-degree heat at Kareela when we saw the Cronulla Seagulls play the Kirrawee Kangaroos on the opening day. And here we are nearly 6 months later for the last match of the season. My name is Tony Dawson. I'm great to have to be part of your world and to have your company for this last match of the year. It's been a long way to get here. We've had our fair share of fun and trial and tribulations along the way. We'll cover those at full time, but we do it on behalf of Jum Media, www.jummedia.com.au, for your next live streaming event, your next function, your next wedding, next any business event, annual general meeting on closed circuit television, www.jummedia, jummedia.com.au. They give you the pictures of this grand final this afternoon, and we couldn't do it without our great phalanx of sponsors who've been with us all year. Green Options, Deploy Football and Sophie B Photography. Green Options, of course, horticulturalists, landscapers and irrigation experts to environmentally friendly standards without peer. Multiple gold award winners at TLA level, multiple curators of the year in Sydney and Melbourne grade cricket, and they look after HBF Park in Perth and proudly look after Central Coast Stadium in Gosford, the home of the Central Coast Mariners, the A-League champions of Australia. And they can look after your front lawn, your backyard, your side footpath with just as much professionalism and environmentally friendly standards. 1300 647 367 or check out the website greenoptions.com.au for a quote. Deploy Football, the ball you will see in this grand final this afternoon has been the same ball, the Envision brand that Deploy Football have used all season long as the provider of all footballs to the WSPL and the SPL. But it's more than about balls at Deploy Football. It's about playing gear. It's about kit and shirts and hurdles and boots and shin pads and hoodies, sweatshirts and track pants and everything else that goes into putting a club kit out on the field. You can get in now at the end of the season for a discounted price for your 2024 season kit at Deploy Football. Give them a call, 1800 384 327 or deployfootball.com. And of course, Sophie B Photography, proud local businesswoman since 2009. Headshots, weddings, functions, headshots for boards of directors at annual reports, and a heck of a lot more, or even the more romantic or graceful photographs. A proud local businesswoman, Sophie B, can get that done first time, every time for you. Contact her at photo@sophieb.com.au or check out the website www.sophieb.com.au, and maybe you can be one of the 220 plus businesses that have joined the Open for Business initiative that Sophie B started in the pandemic in 2020 and continues today. Sophie B Photography, Deploy Football and Green Options, we thank them for their help again in 2023. So here is the grand final. Both teams are out on the field, and you look at the form lines, and it is just the irresistible force meeting the immovable object. Como Janelli have won 15 and drawn 1 of their last 16 league matches. They've won 18, drawn 1 and lost just 1 of their last 20 games in all competitions. Their only loss was to Uni of New South Wales in the State Cup, Bill Cullinan Cup semi-final in July. The Cronulla Seagulls also have just as impressive a form line. They are undefeated in their last 10 games with 9 wins and with 8 wins and 2 draws from their last 10 league starts. And in all competitions, they have won 9 and lost only 1 of their last 13 games. Between them, these sides have played each other on 3 occasions this season. In round 3, back at Seymour Shaw on this ground, Cronulla defeated Como 2-0. The last time Como Janelli lost in the SPL this season until today. In round 12 at Kareela in a night fixture, it was a 1-1 draw. And then the major semi-final that we covered a fortnight ago was a thrilling 2-2 draw, where Como Janelli came from behind twice on 2 occasions to draw level and forced themselves into the grand final on count-back being minor premiers. The Seagulls had to beat the Kirrawee Kangaroos in the preliminary final 2-0 last week to get their way here. But now that they have come here, they know that they are the one side that can trouble this fast-scoring Como Janelli outfit. Our referee, Gavin Ryan, gets us underway in the big one. The 2023 SSFA Shire Premier League Grand Final. And the Cronulla Seagulls are running from right to left. They kicked off. They're wearing their traditional green and white bars, white shorts and white socks, defending the Seymour Shaw number 2 ground end of the field in the first half. The southern end, the Miranda Town shopping centre end, and Como Janelli in their traditional yellow with blue sleeves, blue trim, blue shorts, white socks, running from left to right, defending the scoreboard end, the boulevard northern end of Seymour Shaw number 1 in the first 45 minutes. Perfectly fine conditions have greeted us here, as was the case all day in the earlier grand finals. It's an excellent crowd on hand here at Seymour Shaw, the headquarters of football in the Shire, for a contest that has been much anticipated from the time the penalty shootout ended on this day 12 months ago. Let's have a look at these 2 sides for you. Firstly, for Como Janelli, coached by John Diaz. In fact, we'll come to that in a moment. There's Bates in there with a cross straight away. It's hacked away in the last line by for the Cronulla Seagulls by Dennis. It's turned over. Bates wins the football again. He gets the cross in. There's a Cole Sinclair there with the header, the glancing header down, and it goes well wide of the mark. And Tom Nunn is back there in the last line to do some defensive work. He'll be expected to perhaps provide some forward thrust up front. Of course, he scored the goal in the State Cup final win over Uni of New South Wales. Here's Pierce Cole Sinclair, hurried into the corner. He gets the cross in, though. It's worked away, though, by the Cronulla defence, but Volerich is there. And in the last line, it's Tristan Marr working hard. Volerich tangling with Jeremy Lopez, 2 classy players. But tangling in the rough stuff there that time as the ball went over the byline for the goal kick. Yes, Como Janelli, Josh Towell starts in goal. And their squad for this grand final: Liam Azzopardi, Andrew Adjus, Cameron Bell, Jackson Volerich, Jack Lombo, Pierce Cole Sinclair starting today. Josh Johnson, Alex Glennie, Alex Bates, Jack Carsamire, Tom Papa, Liam Spark, Jared Bruff, Julian Eroldi, Joel Hollingdale and Cale Ford. Nick Boland is their spare goalkeeper. And for the Seagulls, they start with Ben Andrews in goal. And then it's Aidan Dennis, Jeremy Lopez, Tristan Marr, Luke McCosker, Darcy Medway, Jai Mellor, Tom Nunn, Ben Ratz, Caleb Russell, who played 15 minutes in the reserve grade grand final earlier today, Kobe Sharp and Dave Watson. Tom Stratton and Andrew Banning have also been named alongside Fabio Carvalho, but they played long minutes in the reserve grade grand final earlier today. A reserve grade grand final that was won by Guy Meir. If you've missed it, they won on penalties after scores were locked 0-0 at the end of 110 minutes. Guy Meir won the shootout 4-2, and in the women's grand final just completed, It was a 73rd minute goal from Alex Clark that saw the minor premiers Bosco defeat Miranda Magpies by a 1-0. Our referee is Gavin Ryan, and he has Rowan Lilly and Patrick Pike assisting him on the touchlines. Tom Nunn making his way down the left flank. And in the end, in the last line, there were no chances taken by Josh Towell. He got the ball away fairly quickly out for a throw-in. Yes, Gavin Ryan in the centre. Rowan Lilly and Patrick Pike are assisting him on the line. And Connor Mead is the fourth official for this grand final. Expect there to be no passengers taken in the early exchanges. There's a free kick given away by Como Ginelli. Caleb Jewell got up a bit the worse for wear, but and the ball was not taken from the correct mark, according to Mr. Ryan. So it'll be taken back from the correct blade of artificial grass here at Seymour Shaw number 1, which is, of course, in ideal condition for this grand final. A light breeze from the northwest. We're sitting on 22 degrees, a little above our forecast top temperature right now. It'll be quite warm for the players out in the centre, at least until the shade comes across from the grandstands in the second half, given that the late nature, the late kick-off, we didn't get underway until around 25-4 due to the delays with the penalty shootout in the reserve grade grand final earlier today. So the lights may very well come on for the closing stages. Cole Sinclair will be expected to be a key figure this afternoon, as well this man Volerich will try the shot. The shot was blocked. It bounces away though towards Alex Glennie. And Volerich, another key man this afternoon, gets the cross in. Not a bad one either. Headed away on the last line. Cole Sinclair was ready to pull the trigger. And Hollingdale is there. And he can start again back towards Carsemeyer. Carsemeyer and now Alex Glennie. Close marking is expected early doors. Liam Spark and Tom Nunn in close quarters. You can expect them to be in each other's pockets for most of the day. Kobe Sharp tries to lob one forward. Cleared away there by Glennie. And there's no problem that going all the way back to Ben Andrews and the Seagulls goal. Yes, the Seagulls would be disappointed with the fact that they allowed 2 set pieces to create 2 goals from basic ball watching in the major semi-final for the tightest defence in the competition. But you know that Como Ginelli have more than ample options scoring up front. Volerich tangling hard this time with Luke McCosker in company with Tristan Mahon. The free kick goes to the Seagulls, which is taken quickly by McCosker. Darcy Medway trying to work forward, but the ball is turned over. Papa. And now first time Hollingdale. And the switch of play. A ball for Alex Glennie to chase, but that's going to be too fast for him. And will cross the sideline for a throw-in on this Western broadcast touchline. You're watching us on shirefootball.com.au or shirepremierleague.com.au. Thanks for your company. Or if you're watching the replay on demand at any time, you can watch any of our matches in 2023 on either website. Just pick your match, pick your poison, and go nuts if you want to relive the 2023 Premier League season in both men's and women's. We covered every team in each of the grades. I'm sure there's a match for you if you want to get your football fix over the summer months at this level of the game. Sharp. There's a nice ball down the right-hand corridor. Rats gets the cross in. It's headed away, though. First time pass, a bit of a flick from, or a back flick from Kobe Sharp didn't quite work. Volerich wins in the centre of the park, though. The ball is turned over to Tom Nunn. Nunn with those scything runs down the left will be a key factor today. Aidan Dennis with his runs from that left-back position. Also, likewise, Sharp. First time ball looking for Dennis. Dennis turns his man. Tries to get the shot in. Oh, good save down low. Well taken, Josh Towell. But Sharp did the lead-up work, and it was good lead-up work too. Nunn got the shot away, but Towell was equal to the occasion. And Arguably the two best goalkeepers in the competition, Towell and Andrews. That'll also be a battle in itself this afternoon, as Andrews, in the bright all pink, picks up the ball in his own 18-yard defensive area. Turnover is a poor one. Cole Sinclair, last man you want to turn it over to, but he returns the favour in kind. McCosker picks it up. Now Dennis, back to McCosker. He in turn goes back to Carsamaya. And now Spark. Spark down the right. And both sides quite happy to set up in defence. Very deep in the early exchanges. Turnover. Bates is in there to start this contest. And now it's worked forward. There's no big pardons from Carsamaya in that challenge. Coming in on Caleb Russell. Wins the football. No foul. Referee Ryan waves it away, and it's now with Bates for Como Janelli. Which will play to Tom Papa, who'll be a key figure in the middle of the park this afternoon for the minor premiers. Carsamaya. And now Glennie. Glennie turns it over. Dennis. Tristan Marr in the centre of the park. And it goes all the way back to Jai Mellor. And Dennis again. Rides the challenge. The ball not the best. And a number of these triangle passes may not find their mark in the early exchanges. Such are the nerves out there, even though these sides have played each other so many times at this level in the last few years. Every grand final, every match is a new contest, and especially a grand final like this, there'll be nerves. Here's Cole Sinclair making his way forward to Hollingdale. First time cross end. Bates was almost there. And Alex Bates only needed another half inch of room there, and he was in for a very good opportunity. That's the danger of Como Janelli playing more direct when they get the chance than they did in the major semi-final. Rats. Goes back now towards Sharp, and now Jai Mellor. McCosker. Como Janelli quite happy to press high up the pitch to force Ben Andrews to pump the long ball forward. It's worked out towards Caleb Russell. First time ball from Sharp is a good one. Russell on the follow through after the Ben Rats break. And in the end, he forces the corner, Caleb Russell. He said he got 15 minutes of game time in the reserve grade grand final in extra time earlier today, just to dust off the cobwebs. Starting this grand final in first grade here, and he's got a corner. First corner of the afternoon. Seagulls haven't poured too many numbers forward here for this one. There's only 5 green and white shirts forward as we wait for a football, which is taking its time to come across towards that northeastern corner. He gets there now. There's only 5, now 6. Aidan Dennis is making his way up board. That'll be a 7th green and white shirt forward. The corner is taken short though. None can't get around Volerich. And in the end, the ball is shepherded nicely enough by Volerich over the byline for a goal kick. So both sides, like the earlier grand finals, they're just feeling each other out. They're just sparring in the early exchanges, just like throwing out the jab. Kobe Sharp, though, can he break clear? Russell is brought down, and there's the free kick. Liam Azzopardi, the man penalised for that challenge on Caleb Russell. So here's an opportunity for the Seagulls with a free kick from, let's say, about 25 metres. A couple of their tall timber would fancy their chances from this range. McCosker certainly. And Tristan Marr is over there as well in close attendance. He may fancy his chances from here. It is Tristan Marr. McCosker has left it to him. Unless he wants to dink the short pass out wide to the far post. Here's Marr with the free kick. He goes short. And in the end, it's a fairly harmless and wasted free kick. It goes wide over the byline for the goal kick. So 13 minutes gone then in this grand final. And as was the case for the earlier grand finals, no score on the board for Green Options. Bates tries to head one forward. Papa, the flag stayed down. Papa gets the first time shot / cross in, and in the end it was neither one nor the other. It goes out for another goal kick. So both sides just quiet little hubbub of anticipation here. Just waiting, expecting something to happen soon in this grand final. And there's a little nudge in the back by Alex Glennie, which was penalised by referee Gavin Ryan. The free kick is taken quickly. Tom Nunn has some space to work with here. To Sharp, but he loses out to Volerich, and Volerich storms his way through the middle, but he's got no support, so he has to hold the ball up against a wall of 5 green and white shirts. He eventually finds support with Hollingdale. Glennie will do well to keep this ball in play, and he can't. So it goes out for a goal kick. Here's Jackson Volerich, arguably one of the classier, if not the classiest, players in the competition. A lot will be expected of him this afternoon if Como Janelli are to win the prize. Sharp. It's turned forward by Caleb Russell, but there's really no one chasing that football at all, such as the tightness of the defences that both coaches, Michael Harrington of the Seagulls and the wily John Diaz of Como Janelli have set up. Goes harmlessly over the byline for the goal kick. Showed too much of that time, did Carsamire. He did well to recover. Cole Sinclair has to come back up the pitch to try and help him out, and concedes the throw. Tom Nunn then can start all the way back to Jai Mellor for the Seagulls. Sharp has Carsamire in close attendance, and the switch of play is a good one. Out wide towards Liam Spark. Caleb Russell needs some help. There's the first time cross coming in looking for Tom Nunn. Goes over his head. Nunn. Shepherded towards that corner there by Alex Glennie. Has to go back to Dennis. And he in turn has to go back to Mellor, and Seagulls have to start again with Tristan Marr and Mellor. First time ball through. It's hacked away in the last line by Cameron Bell. Headed forward by McCosker. Some aerial ping pong at the moment. It falls to McCosker. Nunn turns it over. Hard fought ball, one in the centre of the park. Might have been a hint of a handball there from Lopez, but the referee, Gavin Ryan, lets it go. It goes all the way back to Liam Spark. This Como Janelli defence is set up quite nicely at the moment. It's almost a flat back 5 at the moment. It's turned forward though. First time pass. Looking for Lopez. But again, that solid yellow and blue wall wins out for the moment. Hollingdale. Cole Sinclair as a party, the first time ball for Cole Sinclair to chase down the line. But some very smart shepherding and defence by Jai Mellor. Despite the attentions of Cole Sinclair over his shoulder, sees the ball out. Ball's turned over again. Hollingdale. Papa. Through ball for Bates. Bates one-on-one with the keeper. Excellent work, Ben Andrews. And that's the danger of Alex Bates. Tom Papa, the connection with he and Bates has been to the fore all season, and Ben Andrews had to be at his best that time to snuff out that attack, which he was. That's the warning shot across the bow to this Cronulla Seagulls defence. It's worked forward to Sharp, tries to get the header on, but Carsamire is back there in the last line. Alongside Bell. who's quite happy to concede the throw-in on the eastern side. So we approach the 20-minute mark of this first half in the grand final, and the green option scoreboard shows us that it is still Como Janelli 0, Cronulla Seagulls 0. Caleb Russell working hard for the Seagulls in that forward third. Dennis picks up the turnover. Mellor. But once again, Como Janelli quite happy to sit deep in defence. Lopez has to go back to help his defence out. Spark. And Lopez again. Both sides quite happy to even reduce the pace to a walking speed at times, but here's a ball now for Tom Nunn to go forward with, but after initially having an air swing, Alex Glennie did well in recovering and forcing a throw-in to allow his defence time to re-marshal. Nunn has to go back to Mellor, and once again the Seagulls are forced to retreat back towards their defensive back four to try and start something again in the face of this very solid defensive setup. Needs a bit of work like this to get away from Spark down the flank. But he can't keep the ball in play at the vital moment. It goes out for another goal kick. 20 minutes exactly gone then. No score in this grand final. And earlier today, the reserve grade was won by Guy Mia on penalties over the Cronulla Seagulls after the scores finished 0-0 at the end of extra time. And the minor premiers Bosco won the Women's Premier League title 1-0 over the Miranda Magpies. Ball to be won in the centre of the park here from this clearance. Falls to Tom Papa. But again, he doesn't have a lot of options. Cronulla are quick to marshal their defences quickly. Tom Nunn wins the free kick against Tom Papa for that little half trip on Nunn as he went past. Gavin Ryan hasn't had a lot to do so far. Here's Spark. There's a lovely pass down the flank, but Cameron Bell is there, read it perfectly and clears it away. And it goes back towards Mellor. Nunn loses out to Volerich in the middle of the park. And Volerich can work away, but again, no support, but he nutmegs Nunn beautifully. Hollingdale tries to time the pass to Volerich. He's got Glennie on the overlap down the right. Inside pass, Cole Sinclair can try it from there. Cole Sinclair, shot blocked by McCosker. Probably took too much time when he perhaps needed the first time shot. Carsemeyer is solid in the challenge there, but all he does is just force the ball over the byline for another goal kick. So, not too many fireworks so far. We've had the Alex Bates chance, which was well saved by Andrews about 5 minutes ago. But for the most part, both sides have cancelled each other out. Their defences have won strong as we reach the midway point of the first half. 22 and a half minutes gone in this grand final. Spark. Caleb Russell. Back to Spark and back to Mellor, and this has been the pattern of play for a lot of this first half. The Seagulls been given a lot of possession, but not in the space to do it. Here's a move from Tristan Marr, though. Marr tries the first time shot, and it skews away badly off the side of the boot. It was shanked and over the byline for another goal kick. Yes, both sides, particularly it appears that coach Jade Diaz is more than happy to concede and defend very deep inside their defensive third and give the Seagulls almost half to three quarters of the field to play with. But once it gets to that defensive third, there's no way through at the moment. And there's a nudge in the back this time against Jai Mellor, on Alex Bates. So it's a Como Janelli free kick just inside their attacking half. So this from the set piece, though, gives time for the well-vaunted Cronulla defence to get set and number off. Bell with the free kick. McCosker comes out solidly. And Lopez from the turnover finds Spark. Switch of play looking for Ma. McCosker, who's made his way forward, but has to again go back to Jai Mellor and Dennis. Ball's turned over. Papa almost wins that ball, but it goes out for a Cronulla Seagulls throw. Down the sideline, a ball for Kobe Sharp to latch onto. He does well, Kobe Sharp, but Bell is back there in the last line. He'd want to be careful, Bell. In the end, he wins the free kick. Cameron Bell for a bit of pushing by Kobe Sharp, according to referee Gavin Ryan. Another referee might have ruled it differently on another day, but more times than not, the defender always wins the free kick in those circumstances, you find. Free kick then from Josh Towell. It's a deep one. It's hacked away forward by Jai Mellor. Bates, who's had the best chance of this grand final so far, has two defenders to deal with and does well. Bates tries the first time shot. Bit of a bobble from Ben Andrews, but he had it under control comfortably enough. And eventually picked up without incident. Seagulls can start again, and both sides now just settling into this game of attritional chess at the moment, where both sides not blinking in the face of the other, given that they know each other so well. Tom Nunn's had to go back, almost to the pure left-back position, to go back to Andrews. Given that they know each other so well, it's a case of trying to find and unlock the key to a puzzle that they both know all too well. Caleb Russell is trying to win the football back, but the Como Giannelli defence too good for him on that occasion, and it goes back to Carsamire, who leaves it for Towell to clear. But again, there's not too much doing, but there's a turnover. Volerich tried to make his way forward from the Cole Sinclair through ball, but Volerich was well covered that time. Dennis again. McCosker, none. And that triangle movement didn't quite work that time. The ball goes out for another throw-in, and this crowd is just now sitting and waiting at the moment. Sitting and waiting for something to happen here in this grand final. They're expecting something to happen. It's almost like the calm before the storm, as the ball goes out over the sideline for another throw-in on this Western broadcast side. Aidan Dennis comes across to take it. He doesn't have a lot of options, though. Headed forward by Kobe Sharp. Ma is there. Headed forward this time by Tom Nunn. Carsamire got himself almost in harm's way that time. Won the free kick, and Gavin Ryan will come across and award Carsamire the free kick, even though he almost ducked into that Luke McCosker right boot. Again, very few options forward. Green and white wall is there and hacks it away. McCosker back to Dennis, and that goes out off Cole Sinclair out for another throw. It's not a bad one. Tom Nunn tries to work it forward. Tristan Mars on his way, but Hollingdale is there to cover. Volerich showed too much of that to Tom Nunn, who gets him swimming to the clear. Tom Nunn, he's got no one in the middle. There's the cross coming in. No one's there for it. First time shot, Caleb Russell, not cleared by the defence. And the referee has found a free kick for a handball against Caleb Russell second time around, and so it's a free kick to Como Giannelli deep inside their own 18-yard defensive area. Which will be taken by Josh Towell. Towell pumps it forward. Bates loses out towards Ben Raats, who went down spectacularly. No foul. Referee may be playing some advantage. And Spark. Back to Raats. And McCosker working his way forward. No one there for that through ball, though. It's headed away by Glennie. Volerich tangling in the middle of the park, doesn't win the ball. It's pumped forward by Raats to basically no one in particular. And it goes all the way back to Josh Tao. And Bell. Ball's turned over, and it's picked up by Caleb Russell, who's been working hard in this first half. Can't win that pass that time, though. Can't keep the ball in play, and so it's a Como Ginelli throw on that eastern side of the ground. Bates tries to hit it on from the throw-in. Picks up the return. Cole Sinclair tries to turn away. Trying to turn his man, Dennis. Marking him very closely. He has to go back to Alex Glennie. Hollingdale. Glennie tries to win out. Ball's turned over to Jeremy Lopez, and he's happy enough to go back to Jai Mello to try and start again. Dennis. Nothing doing for him there. Has to go back to Jai Mello. None. First timer for Tristan Marr, but it's one out there by Carsamai, headed down by Mellor, and working forward, Volerich. Volerich tries the audacious long-range shot, and it's not a bad one. Not a bad one. He saw that Ben Andrews was slightly off his line, Jackson Volerich, and he thought, I'll keep him honest, and it wasn't too far over the crossbar. One of the more inventive plays of this first half hour. And that's how long we've gone. Half an hour in the grand final. Green option scoreboard, still scoreless between these two crack outfits. Substitution was made in the meantime. Jack Lombo coming on for Como Ginelli as part of that double substitution. Long ball making its way down that right-hand corridor, headed out by Azapati. Quick throw in for the Seagulls. Lopez. But he in turn is forced back. All the way back to Mellor to try and start again. And this has been a lot of the pattern of this first half. Seagulls having a lot of possession, but in their own half of the field, the Como Ginelli blue and yellows more than happy to give them the ball in their own defensive half and just set up camp. And get the ball back whenever the Seagulls push forward. Bell. Hollingdale tries to pump it forward, looking for Alex Bates. And that's going to go harmlessly over the sideline for a throw-in on the eastern side. Substitution being prepared now for the Seagulls. It's going to be Dave Watson to be injected into the match for the first time. And a bit of confusion as to who he's coming on for. And he's on now, and the substitution, Caleb Russell, has gone off on the eastern side of the field for the last 15 or so minutes of this first half. Another throw in for the Seagulls on that eastern side. It's worked forward towards Liam Spark, but it goes all the way back to Ben Andrews. Long ball, looking for Tom Nunn, but that's well covered there by Andrew Agius. His first touch off the interchange bench. Now Bates. Agius. It's headed down towards Liam Spark, and it has to go all the way back to Josh Tao. He can start again to Cameron Bell. Turnover for Tom Papa. And Papa to Carsamaya. So this time, the boot is on the other foot. Seagulls sitting very deep, quite happy to give Como Ginelli their own defensive half, almost unchallenged, and then waiting for the turnover whenever Como Ginelli try and force forward. Bell again. He finds Jack Lombo, though, in some space. Lombo tries the long-range shot, and not a bad one either from Jack Lombo. From all of about 33 metres, he had Ben Andrews scrambling just wide of that top right-hand corner. And so far, that's what certainly Como Ginelli have been reduced to, trying the long-range speculators. Apart from that one chance that Alex Bates had midway through the half. Seagulls, for their part, have had one half chance. Cleared off the line at the other end. Towel. Headed away by Dennis. McCosker into the back of Agius. Agius wasn't happy with the treatment, gave McCosker one back. Referee Ryan let it go. Ma. Lombo in there. Forces a turnover. Volerich. He might try something from here. Tries the nutmeg, tries the goose step, and in the end comes up with not very much as it goes over the byline for a goal kick. So 10 minutes remaining in this first half on our watch, plus any stoppage time that our referee Gavin Ryan may choose to add. There's been very little of that so far. We may very well have just 45 and a half minutes, and that'll be about it for this first stanza. Both sides perhaps also taking into account the warm conditions out there and saving themselves for a long-range attritional contest in this second half with a view to perhaps extra time. There's nothing doing here for Ben Andrews, as the defence has very much set itself up. There's a nice ball down the right-hand corridor for Lopez. Looking for Kobe Sharp. Dave Watson gets the cross in. It's headed down, not cleared. McCosker will try it from there on the turn. And that's gone onto the boulevard and won't come back for the rest of the day. Someone will pick up that football and take it home with them. Goal kick then for Como Ginelli. With 9 minutes remaining in the first half, plus any stoppages on our unofficial watch. It's Lombo trying to work forward. It goes back to Ben Andrews. Nice to pump it forward. Agius is there with the head up. Not a bad one either. It's Lombo working his way into position. Shepherded wide. Lombo tries to get the cross in, wins the corner. Came off Darcy Medway last. So it goes out for a Como Ginelli corner. It's their first of the afternoon. It's taken them 36 and a half, nearly 37 minutes to get one. And here's Jackson Volerich with that cultured right peg to come across and take the free kick in front of a very good-sized crowd watching this last game of the season. There's only 5 yellow shirts in the middle for Volerich to aim at, and it's easily cleared out by Darcy Medway. Volerich wins it back, though. Spark. And Agius does well. Goalkeeper came out before acceptances. He needed Medway to clear only as far as Cameron Bell, who goes back to Carsemeyer. And it's in turn intercepted by McCosker, who runs into Bell. Bell wins the ball back. Into the centre to Hollingdale. Spark, and now the switch of play to Jack Lombo. Looking for Bates in the middle. Papa, first time Volerich. This is where he's dangerous, but wanted too much time that time. Cut out by Dennis. Agius is in there with the challenge. Solidly, to make sure that the throw doesn't get too far away. It's worked out wide then from Mellor, out wide to Medway, and the Seagulls can start again. Andrews. And that is not a well-timed clearance from Ben Andrews. Concedes the throw for Como Ginelli. Agius takes the throw. Volerich. Dennis hoofs it away. Up and under style. And gets a turnover out of it with Dave Watson, who goes down. No foul there. Bates tries to lob it forward, and Volerich wasn't quite ready for the pass. And then he did well to get himself back into position, Jackson Volerich, and didn't have enough gas in the tank on that occasion. Mellor now. And again, Mellor doesn't have many options. Dennis. Bates applying the pressure though. Back to Mellor. And Mellor tries to switch of play out wide to the right, and the ball is lost. Lombo's in there solidly to force the throw on that eastern side. Inside the final 5 minutes of this first half then, on our timepiece. 5 to go, plus any stoppage time. Throw coming in towards Lopez. And there's a turnover. And Hollingdale can break through the middle, but not past Tom Nunn. Tristan Marr down the right. Marr steps back into the middle. Cross is blocked, but Dennis is up in support from his left back position. First time triangle passing, nice. Towards Lopez, and now McCosker. Back heel to Lopez, but he's got two defenders to meet. One of them is Volerich, who shows his skills. But the ball is lost. Back to McCosker. Back to Tristan Marr. Marr with the through ball, nicely coming in. Towels bundled over in the last line of defence by McCusker. The penalty has given referee Gavin Ryan points to the spot for a penalty against Josh Towell. Towell came out. There was certainly a side-on collision, one-on-one between Josh Towell and the Seagulls striker making his way through. But Gavin Ryan, after just a little bit of thought, made no hesitation in pointing to the spot for the foul on Josh Towell and the penalty. Well, we did say the crowd was waiting for something to happen. The calm before the storm. And the storm has taken place 4 minutes from half-time in this grand final. It was Dave Watson that clattered into Josh Towell in the end. And Towell's been ruled to have committed the foul on Dave Watson, who has left the field immediately. And it's Kobe Sharp to step up and take the penalty. Referee had no hesitation in making the call. Towell did come out. There was a clash between he and Dave Watson. Here's Sharp, though, with the penalty. Sends Towell the wrong way, and the Seagulls take the lead. The State Cup champions edge ahead in this grand final, as they did twice in the major semi a fortnight ago. Kobe Sharp, who got 2 goals that night, gets the first score on the board in this grand final this afternoon. Sent Josh Towell the wrong way. 3 minutes from half-time, 42 minutes gone on the green option scoreboard in the grand final. It's Como Ginelli 0, Cronulla Seagulls 1. Bates goes down in the Aidan Dennis challenge. And the referee rules there was no foul there. It goes out for a goal kick. So certainly that will now force, you would think, force a change in the attritional chess tactics between these two sides that certainly dominated the first half. Sharp, the goal scorer, works down the flank, but as a party comes across in cover to see the ball out for a throw-in on that eastern side. Well, Como Ginelli have been the highest scorers in the league this season. They're going to have to come up with something like that again this afternoon, now that they find themselves behind. The Seagulls, now that they have the lead, can now possibly bank on their much-vaunted defence to possibly see them home to an historic double. You just get the feeling as Jai Miller goes back to Ben Andrews that there is at least one, if not a couple, of more twists left in this grand final yet as we approach the last 60 seconds of the first half. On our watch, that is. McCosker and Volerich tangle. No foul there, despite the protestations of the Como Ginelli supporters in the crowd. McCosker sees his way clear and sets a switch of play again down the right. Caleb Jewell in the centre, back on the ground, who replaced Dave Watson as the penalty was being taken. Wins a free kick again in a relatively forward position for the Seagulls, who can start launching something at the back end of this first half. The free kick is taken quickly by Lopez. Medway gets the cross in. There's the header from Caleb Jewell. It goes wide. No, the referee said it took a deflection in the last line. So now for a corner. So the Seagulls have another opportunity in the back end of this first half to extend the lead. Corner is taken short towards Tristan Marr. Tom Nunn. Nunn gets the cross in. Lopez is there. Cross in from Marr. There's the header. Good header too there from Kobe Sharp. Not too far over the bar. And this time it was the Como Ginelli defence that was caught ball watching at the back. Kobe Sharp almost had a free header, uncontested, on the edge of the 6-yard area. Bates. Volerich. Tumbled to the ground by McCosker. There's the free kick. No card coming from referee Gavin Ryan. And a few words being exchanged by Gavin Ryan and Volerich on the way past. But it's a free kick nonetheless for Como Ginelli, taken by Hollingdale, who pumps it forward quickly. Andrews has it covered. So we've played 1 minute of stoppage time then at the end of this first half. And that will be it. The 1 minute of stoppage time is enough, according to our referee Gavin Ryan. And it's been a cagey first half between two sides that know each other so well. Certainly, Como Ginelli had the better attacking opportunities. They had the better chances. Alex Bates had that very good chance in the 23rd minute, which was well saved by Ben Andrews. The long-range speculator from Jackson Volerich from nearly halfway, and then the long-range shot from Jack Lombo tested Andrews, but it all came together in the 42nd minute. Josh Towell and Dave Watson clattered into each other in the Como Ginelli penalty area. Referee Gavin Ryan had no hesitation in pointing to the spot. Kobe Sharp converted the penalty. And so we find ourselves at halftime in the 2023 SPL Grand Final with a green option scoreboard that tells us that it is Como Ginelli 0, Cronulla Seagulls 1. And as we see Como Janelli make their way back out onto the field for the second half, could be the last 45 minutes of the season, of the Shire Premier League season in this 2023 SPL Grand Final. It's the Cronulla Seagulls who enjoy the advantage. They have a 1-0 lead as we start the second half here at Seymour Shaw Park on shirepremierleague.com.au and shirefootball.com.au. My name is Tony Dawson for Jump Media. Great to have your company for this last 45 minutes of the season. We do it all, of course, for our great group of sponsors: Green Options, Deploy Football and Sophie B Photography, who have been with us all year and are with us all the way to the end of this grand final this afternoon. Green Options, of course, horticulturalist landscapers without peer. 1300 647 367, greenoptions.com.au. Deploy Football, providing all footballs all year long, including the Envision brand that you see out there in the middle right now. One of only 2 Australian brands to have the FIFA ProMark seal of approval. 1800 384 327, deployfootball.com. And Sophie B Photography, as our referee Gavin Ryan gets us underway for the second half of this grand final. Sophie B Photography, proud local businesswoman and the best local photographer in the business since 2009. www.sophieb.com.au, photo at sophieb.com.au. It's the Cronulla Seagulls running from left to right as we look at it in the second half, defending the scoreboard end, the boulevard end, the northern end of Seymour Shaw Park here at Miranda, and in their green and white bars, white shorts. Dave Watson making his way forward. It's a half-time substitution, and it's attempted to be pumped forward that time by Ben Raats. Goes out over the byline for a goal kick. And Como Janelli running from right to left, defending the Seymour Shaw number 2 or Miranda Shopping Centre, Westfield Shopping Centre end of the ground, the southern end in the second 45 minutes. In their yellow, blue stripes, blue shorts and white socks. Here's an opportunity straight away for the Seagulls. McCosker tries to get the shot in. And it comes off a Como Janelli defender and out for a corner. So the Seagulls, fired up by their coach Michael Harrington at half-time, to perhaps try and put this game away early in the second half. They've got a corner to start the second stanza. Corner comes in. Header not cleared. There's a party there. Did that come off hands? Yes, it did, according to referee Gavin Ryan. Andrew Agius is not happy with the call at all. He thought it was ball coming onto hand rather than the other way around. Gavin Ryan has a few solid words with Andrew Agius coming across. And eventually says that I've seen it as I've called it as I see it. And it's a handball, and here's an opportunity for the Seagulls from set piece again. This time, well within the range of any number of players. Tom Nunn's there, but he's going to leave it. There's the free kick, and it's high, wide, and not too handsome, I'm afraid, from Dave Watson. As it goes sailing over the crossbar. It's been a gorgeous day in Sydney, a gorgeous late winter, early spring Sunday afternoon. Of course, the match did kick off a little later due to the extended reserve grade grand final earlier, which went to a penalty shootout. Cole Sinclair does battle with Darcy Medway down this grandstand right. Goes out for a Como Janelli throw. It's going to be Jared Bruff who's on the field for Como Janelli. Cole Sinclair and now Volerich. Bruff. So not Bruff, but yeah, Bruff gets the return ball back from Cole Sinclair, but loses out. And cleared away by Tristan Maher out for a Como Janelli throw in. Papa doesn't have a lot of support. He's looking for some. Volerich. Can he get the shot away? Volerich goes down in the McCosker challenge. No foul there from referee Gavin Ryan. Agius, though, tries to go and win the ball again, but it's turned over to Maher. Tristan Maher can come away, but he turns it away towards Cameron Bell. Bell with some space to work in. He's been given some room to come through. And in the end, the through ball wasn't well picked up enough, and it goes over the byline for a goal kick. This has been a gorgeous afternoon here in Sydney, in the setting sun now towards the west. The floodlights have been turned on, and I suspect that they will take further effect as we head towards the end of this match, particularly if there is an equaliser and we are forced to go to extra time. Cronulla have other ideas though. Sharp, lovely ball for Ma, but it's cut out in the last line by Spark. Watson is there though to pick up and restart again. Rats gets the cross in. First time shot from Watson, not a bad one. Just wide. And that's what the Seagulls can do. They can certainly turn on their own brand of attacking football. Anyone that was here that saw that blistering second half against Bonnet Bay in the second last round can certainly vouch for that. Cole Sinclair for Como Ginelli. Volerich, there's the through ball. A little bit too heavily weighted for Tom Papa to follow through, and it goes harmlessly to Ben Andrews in the Seagulls goalmouth. And certainly this good-sized crowd have stayed around here at Seymour Shaw for this second half, the last 45 minutes of the of the season. Lopez. Ball's turned over though. And now Papa, and they can turn quickly. Como Ginelli, this is where they're dangerous. But Dennis is there, solid in the challenge. Tries to clear it away. McCosker. Worked out wide to Medway, but Volerich is there in his face. Watson. Tristan Ma works his way nicely through the middle. And that not the best of passes for Dave Watson, who of course was involved in the incident that led to the penalty that separates the two sides. And it's now Casamai to start again for Como Ginelli. But it's cut out. Well read there. McCosker looking for Watson, but in turn that's cut out by Cameron Bell. Bell tries to get the 1-2 from Papa. He in turn sends the run down the flank. Andrews comes out well on the face of Tom Papa and makes the ball his. Lopez, McCosker, and now Medway and Tristan Ma. First time ball from Kobe Sharp. Casamai has to do some heavy lifting to take the ball back to his goalkeeper, Josh Towell. Clearance is not the best. McCosker's there. And now Lopez, the 1-2 with Kobe Sharp. And solid defence coming in that last line by Spark. Loses the football. Tristan Ma gets the cross in. Waited too long that time, did Tom Nunn, to pull the shot away. McCosker's there. Danger's not cleared. Nunn again. Tom Nunn almost through. Cameron Bell in the last line had to save the day in the last line of defence. Claims of handball waved away by, or not even acknowledged by, a referee Ryan that time. Cole Sinclair has had to go a fair way up the pitch to get some touches. First time pass, this time for Liam Spark tries to find him. The ball is turned over. Certainly hard-fought ball to be won in the centre of the park in these early stages of the second half. Casamai just hacks it away, but only as far as Medway. Cross coming in from Rats. That's taken a deflection off Hollingdale. Volerich is back there to help his defence. Gets the 1-2 from Jared Brough. That ball appeared to have gone over the sideline, but the assistant said it didn't. Play goes on. Aidan Dennis injects himself into the attack. And he showed too much of the ball and has almost turned it over. Spark tried to send Cole Sinclair away, but it's shepherded back towards Ben Andrews. Rats just hoofs it forward. In a fairly ungainly fashion, and it finds Josh Towell. So we've gone 11 minutes in this second half in this grand final. And it is still that Kobe Sharp penalty that separates the two sides. To give the State Cup champions their 1-0 lead. They're within touching distance of a famous double. And they can, which would certainly make up for the heartbreak of the last year's penalty shootout defeat to this Como Janelli side. Bell tries to work it forward. But not for the first time this afternoon. That last pass has been found wanting. In the face of this defence, there's a solid challenge coming in from that Como Janelli player. It was a solid challenge that came in from Alex Glennie. He's been penalised for that challenge, and it's a Cronulla Seagulls free kick. Certainly referee Gavin Ryan has resisted the temptation to pull the card out so far. From the free kick, here's Rats. Tries to get around his man Brough. Brough goes to ground in the challenge and wins the free kick. Feeling the ankle a little worse for wear from that tangling with Ben Rats. It's Cameron Bell then with the free kick. Pumps it forward. Papa is in there. Medway wins out though. Dennis. Aidan Dennis. But Volerich turns the football over and strives to work his way forward. Cole Sinclair goes down in a heap. No foul, says referee Gavin Ryan, much to the discontent of the crowd. Referee has pumped forward. Referee will now stop play to attend to Cole Sinclair down on the edge of the Cronulla Seagulls defensive 18-yard box. He certainly was clattered into. Referee ruled it was a body-to-body challenge, and there was no foul there. But the Como Janelli supporters certainly disagree with him. And so we'll come back for a drop ball. Cole Sinclair is to his feet safely enough, and play is resumed. From the drop ball, though, it's turned over by Cameron Bell. Needed Spark to clean up, and Volerich. Here's a ball for Cole Sinclair again to chase. Two defenders there. There's the shot. First time over the bar. It was Carsamire of all people. It was not Carsamire, but it was Tom Papa that came following through on the back of the Cole Sinclair work. And first time wasn't too far over the crossbar that Ben Andrews is guarding. And that is the danger that Como Janelli's multifaceted attack can throw at you. Papa, this time Volerich. Volerich working with as a party. There's the first time cross. Header from Papa. Straight at Andrews again. So Como Janelli now trying to apply the pressure in these early stages of the second half. Watson from the clearance. And now Ben Rats. Rats has to go back to Medway. Darcy Medway pushes forward. Kobe Sharp. And now Tristan Maher joining in down the right. Through ball looking for Watson. And Maher. Sharp. Kobe Sharp. There's the shot. Oh, great save. Great save there from Josh Towell, although the referee has ruled that it wasn't saved, that it went over the crossbar without assistance and out for a goal kick. The Seagulls adamant that it took a deflection off Josh Towell, but it was certainly a rifled shot from Kobe Sharp. It doesn't need any second invitation. There's a turnover. There's the dummy. McCosker 1-on-1, tries the chip and puts it wide. Well, how great a chance was that was lost? Luke McCosker almost had too much time there. Once the ball fell to him, he picked his spot and he pushed it just wide of the right-hand upright. Will that come back and haunt the Seagulls later? Certainly the best chance of this grand final. Absolutely butchered by Luke McCosker that time. The ball goes out off of Darcy Medway for a Como Giannelli throw. Josh Towell was well beaten that time. As McCosker lined up the shot. Here's the substitution then for the Seagulls. It's going to be Caleb Jewell to come back on and Kobe Sharp to leave the field to get a breather. He may come back later in the piece given the revolving nature of the unlimited substitutions rule. It's certainly been a long day for Caleb Jewell. Remembering he played 15 minutes of that reserve grade grand final earlier in the day. Here come the Seagulls working forward again. Slaloming run this time. And the challenges come in from behind by Carsamire on Tom Nunn, who has a few words to say to Carsamire on the way past. The foul was certainly there. Free kick then for the Seagulls. Just outside the Como defensive 18-yard box. We're going to be Tristan Maher then to line this one up. He may go the blast, or will he try and pick out one of the 3 or 4 targets that are now making their way forward. 5 of them towards the far post. He goes neither one nor the other. Shot from Tom Nunn is blocked. McCosker again blasted over the bar. So both sides having their moments in these early exchanges in this first 15 minutes of the second half. We've gone past the hour mark in this grand final. 16 minutes gone, second half. 2 footballs on the field. That will certainly add to the stoppage time at the end of this match. Still, the Kobe Sharp penalty, the difference between the two sides on the green options scoreboard. There's no big part in some of those challenges there between Kobe Sharp and Tristan Maher. And Darcy Medway has to clear his lines in a hurry and concede the throw. You just sense that, just get the feeling that there's certainly one more twist left in this grand final, that we may not have seen the last goal in this contest. Bruff has to go all the way back to Carsamire. He switches the point of the attack to the right-hand side. And Glennie loses the football, though, and concedes the free kick. You just get the feeling the crowd are also anticipating, as they did in the first half. They've watched this match in relative silence, that just waiting for something to happen here. The calm before the storm has come over this Seymour Shaw Park complex again, waiting for the decisive moment between these two sides. Given that the form book suggests it will come at some stage. Here's the lobbed pass looking towards Cole Sinclair. In the end, it's eventually cleaned up by Dennis in the last line of the Seagulls defence. Ball stays in play there. Cross comes in. Here's the shot for Cole Sinclair. Fumbled by Ben Andrews and cleared away in the last line by Tristan Maher. And Pierce Cole Sinclair with that left peg rifled that at Ben Andrews, and Andrews had to pull out all the stops to keep that one out. From the throw-in, here come Como Ginelli on attack again. There's the cross coming in, the header away. First time shot is well wide from Alex Glennie. Yeah, both sides acutely aware of what the other can offer in attack. And the crowd in anticipation of something that's going to happen at some stage soon. Now we have a substitution for the Seagulls. Tom Nunn to come off. He goes to the eastern side. And it's going to be Fabio Carvalho to make his first appearance in this first grade grand final. He played about 35 minutes in total in the reserve grade grand final earlier in the day, including all of the extra time period, and also, as I look at my record here, he didn't take one of those penalties that was missed earlier in the day. Spark working forward to Papa now for Como Ginelli. Lovely through ball for Cole Sinclair. Ben Andrews comes out. Cole Sinclair was adamant. He was held back by Jai Mellor, but the referee, Gavin Ryan, was having nothing of it. And eventually it's covered in that last line of the Como Ginelli defence. Carsamai can start again to Glennie. Carsamai has to get rid of it quickly. And eventually it falls towards Brough. To Glennie, and now Tom Papa in the centre of the park tries to start something again. Volerich, Cole Sinclair. Agius tries the long range speculator. But it's well wide of the mark. Jack Lombo about to warm up and go on for Como Ginelli. He was certainly industrious in the first half. And the attacking prowess of Nick Bates has also been warmed up by Coach Diaz here on this broadcast Western touchline. Time is certainly starting to get on the move for Como Ginelli in this grand final. We are approaching the midway point of the second half. No change to this half-time score. Still the Kobe Sharp penalty the difference between the two sides. Carsamai tries to start again with Glennie. Agius, Glennie down that right-hand corridor, gets around a couple of defenders. But eventually concedes the free kick in a tumble of bodies on that eastern side. Gavin Ryan ruled the free kick, and Andrew Agius showed his frustration with some of that. Double substitution now. It is Bates and Lombo both going on for Como Ginelli. So certainly a striker and an attacking wingman brought on. Given the nature of the situation, it's no surprise, really. Given that there's only possibly 22 and a half minutes left in Como's season. Long ball pumped forward. Carsamai lets it go through to Towel. Yep, 22 and a half minutes remaining in this grand final. We're in the last quarter of regulation. Papa. And now Bates. First touch since coming back on the field. Lovely through ball down the right-hand side. Looking for Glennie, but it's headed away calmly enough by Jai Mellor in that last line. And now the Seagulls can possibly start a counter, although a couple of bodies clattering together there on that eastern side. No foul, and the ball goes out for a Seagulls throw, who enjoy this 1-0 lead. That was established in the 42nd minute with that Kobe Sharp penalty. After Josh Tower was ruled to have brought Dave Watson down inside the Como Giannelli defensive 18-yard box. Through ball. And the switch of play out wide towards Raats. Raats for the Seagulls. Watson, the 1-2 with Raats. And in the end, Spark does well to keep the ball from going out for a corner and just to concede a throw on this broadcast western side. Once again, there's a good-sized crowd here just waiting for something. They anticipate something happening soon in this grand final. This time Tristan Marr can't keep the ball in play. Goes over the byline for a goal kick. Of course, you can watch this match on replay on demand at any time, as well as any of our replays from the 2023 season during the summer on these two websites, shirefootball.com.au or shirepremierleague.com.au, that you're watching this live streaming on now. It's Brough for Como Giannelli. Lombo rides the solid challenge of Ben Raats, who wins the ball. Who in turn rides the frustrated right foot of Lombo away and switches the point of the attack to the left-hand side. But Aidan Dennis will not be able to catch that pass down that left-hand touchline. Goes out for a throw-in, which Bates will take. Dennis shepherds it out for another throw on that eastern side. Bates the throw again. There's a shank that falls towards Dave Watson. But Watson's pass to Caleb Jewell is a poor one. He goes over the byline for a goal kick. 20 minutes remaining then in this grand final. Time starting to be falling in favour of the Seagulls, the State Cup champions. Jared Brough. And that ball has come out solidly off of Hollingdale out over the western touchline for a Seagulls throw. Raats with the throw. Down the touchline. Watson tries to chip it in. Bell tries to clear it away. And it's headed out by Mellor for a Como Giannelli throw. Brough takes the throw quickly, and Lombo clatters to the ground in the challenge, and the yellow card comes out for Jeremy Lopez that time for that raised stud challenge on Jack Lombo. First name into the book for the Seagulls this afternoon / this evening in the 71st minute. Although it's a fairly moot point about bookings and pick up points now, given that we are in the last game of the season, it might count towards 2024. Free kick is pumped long into that box by Lombo, but it's worked away. And the Seagulls can work their way clear. And they do it well on turnover. McCosker, Lopez. Back to McCosker. And the Seagulls holding possession nicely. Como Giannelli sitting very deep in defence, giving them more time and space, waiting for a turnover like this from Brough to Papa. Papa lobs it forward for Lombo to chase, but it's narrowly cut out in the last line by Jai Mellor, who does well, rides the challenge, wins the throw. Throw in for the Seagulls on this broadcast Western Touch. Tom Nunn warming up, as is Kobe Sharp. So the heavy artillery brought out for the last 18 minutes or so of this contest. Double substitution. It is Sharp and Nunn to come on. And it will be, let's see who comes off here. It's Dave Watson coming off. So that's only just the one substitution for now. Tom Nunn on and Dave Watson off for the Seagulls. Lombo works hard to Coles, Sinclair and Volerich. Is it time for him to step up and try and produce some magic? He's hustled into a lateral pass, which doesn't improve Como's attacking position. That's a better ball, though. Looking for a Kobe Spark down the flank. Spark gets the cross in. It's cleared away just before Cole Sinclair could get to it. Hollingdale. Danger's not fully cleared. Cameron Ginelli can start again with Cameron Bell. Through ball looking for Lombo. Lombo's pushed away. And the referee rules that it went over the byline for a goal kick and there was no foul. So, second of the double substitutions now. With Callum Jewell to come off and Kobe Sharp to come into the play for the last 15 minutes of regulation. That's how long we've now got left in this grand final. Ben Andrews has to clear the lines quickly. Bruff hacks it forward only as far as McCosker. And now Ben Raats. Raats chips it forward for Sharp. The header on looking for Tristan Marr. Marr down this right-hand flank. Tries to get inside his man, Spark. None. Kobe Sharp. And there's a foul there. Referee was waiting for an advantage on that foul on Kobe Sharp after he got rid of the football. Free kick to the Seagulls just outside the defensive area. And the yellow card is shown to Cameron Bell. Or is it Jared Bruff? It's Cameron Bell, I fancy, who made the challenge. The late challenge on Tom Nunn as he went past. So here's the Cronulla Seagulls opportunity. Another free kick in a very close position. Just outside the 18-yard box. It's one for Ben Raats to have a go at. Although the way they're lining up towards the back stick, maybe he may be looking for a chipped free kick, but they're a fall in the wall facing Ben Raats with this free kick. Tries the shot himself, straight at Josh Towell, who had no trouble in taking that in two hands. So now time is on the wing here for this Como Ginelli side. And Jared Bruff's pass not the best. Remembering they've only lost one of their last 19 games in all competitions and haven't lost a league match since they went down in March to the Seagulls side. Lombo tries to turn his man. And Spark, there's the one-on-one chance. Although it's blocked away on the last line by Ben Raats. It was Hollingdale that got in there. Raats shut him down and conceded the corner, which is taken quickly. Volerich. And that is done well to be kept in there by Bell. Volerich tries the shot himself. Fumbled by Andrews. It's Stacks on the mill. Ball not cleared. Referee rules another corner. Came off Ben Raats last and went over the byline for another corner. And he just gets the feeling that Como Ginelli warming up to something here as we draw towards the last 10 minutes of this grand final, of regulation that is. Volerich then with the corner. There's 6 yellow and blue shirts in the middle to pick out. Goes towards the far post. Andrews comes out, misses it altogether. And the ball ends up over the crossbar. And eventually it's ruled that it came off Jack Lombo, the header over the crossbar, and out for a goal kick. Another substitution will be called for, and it is now. So Jared Bruff comes off for the last 12 minutes that we make unofficially on our timepiece, plus any stoppage time that referee Gavin Ryan may want to add. Here's a lovely through ball away as Aidan Dennis down the left. Aidan Dennis, there's the shot straight at Towell from Kobe Sharp. And Towell gets the clearance away quickly. No foul there. Referee says play on. And Cole Sinclair is away. Cole Sinclair Dennis is back there, though, to cut that through ball out in the last line. It's a fairly static through ball, it had to be said. Volerich tries the shot, or the cross looking towards Tom Papa. Gets the ball back again, Volerich. But he's got 3 green and white shirts to deal with who clear it away. Seagulls now retreating almost into their final defensive third. They may be happy to see out the storm for these last 10 minutes to secure a title. Papa. Carsamire. Hollingdale and now Bell. Coach Diaz imploring his players to push it forward. There's the cross coming in. It's blocked by Ben Raats in the last line for a throw-in. Ball across the line just before the corner post, of the corner flag. Lombo. Jack Lombo. Still going, Jack Lombo. Lombo, the shot is blocked. Hollingdale is there. Falls to McCosker, to Volerich. Volerich can't get the shot away. Bates and Volerich almost look at each other. Bates. Play on, says the referee. Bates with the chip. Headed away. Not out of danger. Cole Sinclair now. Cole Sinclair tries to beat his man. Into the box. Only half cleared. There's a clear push in the back by McCosker. And a free kick to Como Ginelli. Very close to the byline and that northeastern corner flag. And the yellow card now comes out for that Seagulls player and that clumsy challenge as we enter the final 10 minutes unofficially on our watch. Plus, any stoppage time the referee Gavin Ryan may want to add. Volerich then with the free kick. 5 yellow and blue shirts against 7 green and white ones in the middle. Headed away comfortably. And now there's a half break on here. Raats down that left-hand corridor, but he has to hold up because he was the only man that was coming forward. Such were the numbers that the Seagulls poured back into their own defensive area. Here's Raats again now. He's happy enough to go back to Redway. And Jai Miller, who's been a tower of strength in this. Lopez, now McCosker. Here's Jai Miller, a tower of strength and defence. Not just today, but all season long. Once again, Seagulls more than happy to just play the ball around in their defensive third. Time is on their side. 8 minutes remain. And the ball goes out for a Seagulls throw on this broadcast western side that Lopez will be happy to take his time to get in there. Tom Nunn, sharp. Spark has to go back to Josh Towell. And Carsamire can start again for Como Ginelli. But they need to come up with something shortly. Cole Sinclair looking for Bates. But it's cleared away in that last line by Cavallo, whose name went into the book for that challenge earlier. So Como Ginelli forced back into their defensive third to start again. And with under 7 minutes remaining, time is against them. Spark loses out. But the ball's turned over. Tom Nunn's back there, though, to clear it straight to Volerich. And now Tom Papa. Volerich couldn't pull the trigger. May get the opportunity this time. No, he can't. And he's pulled up lame in back play. He's gone down, maybe some cramp, or maybe something a little more serious than that with Jackson Volerich. He's up to his feet, though. Maybe just cramp. Ma rides the challenge of Spark well. Dennis making his way from his left-back position. Turns the football over, though, to Spark. Volerich can hardly lift his legs right now, given the knock he suffered in back play just a few seconds ago. Lopez. And now Ben Raats. This will suit the Seagulls down to the ground with 6 minutes remaining unofficially. Lopez. Lopez has to go back towards Jai Mellor. Mellor the through ball, looking for Tom Nunn. That's going to go over the byline for a goal kick. Time for another substitution. One last throw of the dice. And it's going to be Josh Johnson thrown into the fray for one last 5-minute fling. Jackson Volerich coming off the field with that injury. That will be the last we see of him today and maybe this year. Josh Johnson comes out onto the field. Volerich is one of the class players of this competition, and he goes straight down the tunnel to get some treatment. We won't see him back. Papa, Johnson. Can he come up with something in these last 5 minutes? Some sort of spark. Seagulls, though, are holding firm for the moment. There's a unwieldy challenge which has caught Tom Nunn in the midriff. Referee has now got the word from the assistant on this eastern side. The fourth official has stepped across here. Connor Mead to have a word with referee Gavin Ryan about that, what appeared to be a fairly reckless boot that caught Tom Nunn in the, let's just say, in the nether regions, in the midriff. He's up to his feet, though. I'm sure in a few minutes' time, the pain he feels now will be superseded by a possible winner's medal if the Seagulls can hang on here for another 4 minutes, plus stoppages. Ball's pumped forward straight to Josh Towell. 4 minutes plus stoppages remaining on our unofficial timepiece. And it's Cameron Bell to try and start again. But there's not a lot of running off the ball for him at the moment, and with Volerich off the field, it's almost a ball and hope. Lombo gets onto him one, and Lombo produces a magnificent save from Andrews. Well, that's the danger of Como Janelli. Even when they appear down and out with nothing doing, Jack Lombo's persistence gets onto the turn, fires the shot in, and Ben Andrews had to be at his absolute best to parry that over the bar. The corner's taken quickly. Andrews came out before acceptances and the ball beat everyone. And eventually falls to a Seagulls defender. Bell has 3 green and white shirts to deal with. The Seagulls have thrown every man behind the ball now. Towell. 3 minutes remaining plus stoppages on our watch. Long ball looking for Johnson. And the clearance there by Jai Mellor. Looking for Kobe Sharp. Ball kept in play though by the men in blue and yellow. It's pumped forward straight to Josh Towell. The Seagulls now content to just defend inside their defensive half and defend deep to try and hang on to this 1-goal lead that they've enjoyed since the 41st minute. Now here's the run down the flank though from the cross looking for Johnson. And in the end, Ben Andrews came out and made the ball his. Andrews gets the clearance away to Ben Raats. And the more the Seagulls hang on to this football in the closing stages, the closer they become to a double. The ball is pumped long and it goes to Cameron Bell. Looks like we may have 2 minutes of stoppage time here. Unofficially, we've got 2 minutes remaining on our clock, plus the stoppages that referee Gavin Ryan may want to introduce from his watch. Ball's turned over though in the last line. Tom Nunn in the centre of the park. The release to McCosker, and he's got Raats on the right. Raats and McCosker. Playing tiki-taka, one pass to the other at the moment. Lopez with the through ball looking for Tom Nunn. He goes out wide towards Ben Rats, who was caught flat-footed. Here's now Lombo. No foul there, although Mellor appeared to ride into the back of Lombo. And now Lopez works his way forward. No foul again from Gavin Ryan. Playing advantage, Watson. Watson gets the cross in, headed away by Bates in the last line. Worked forward out wide towards Cavallo. Cavallo will keep it in the corner for as long as he can. We're in the final 30 seconds on our watch, plus stoppages. It's almost now or never for the minor premiers. Johnson, can he come up with something down the flank? He can't. The ball goes out over the eastern side for a Cronulla Seagulls throw. They had heartbreak 12 months ago, the men in green and white, when they lost a penalty shootout in this corresponding match. They've staked their claim in the second half of this season with a thrilling Bill Cullinan State Cup final win over the Uni of New South Wales Bumblebees. And now they're on the brink. They are on the cusp. Unless Como Ginelli come up with a miracle. We are now playing stoppage time at the end of the second half in this grand final. On our watch, that is. And the ball goes out over the eastern side for a Seagulls throw, and they'll take all the time in the world to take it. No, it's ruled to be a Como Ginelli throw at the end of the day. There's no choice for Como Ginelli but to pump it forward now. Headed away by Rats, though. And the Seagulls have men running forward here. McCosker. Lopez can work it forward to Kobe Sharp. Watson wasn't on the overlapping run, though, and it goes back to Tao. We've played 1 minute of stoppage time of the two we think that are available. Bates pumps it forward, but that ball is well and truly covered in the last line by Jai Miller, who'll see it go over the byline for a goal kick. They can smell it now. They can taste it, the Seagulls, as we approach the second minute of stoppage time. And Ben Andrews, who's been forced to make some saves in this second half, as well as that tremendous first half save from the Bates attempt, can pump it forward. Ball clears everyone. Down to Kobe Sharp, the penalty taker, the goal scorer. He'll take it to the corner, try to run some time off the clock. He's got two defenders to deal with, Kobe Sharp, now a third. And wins a goal kick. Wastes some more time. We've had 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this second half. There can't be much time left. Como Ginelli have to pump it forward. The referee, Gavin Ryan, hasn't looked at his watch yet. Here's a bursting run from Aidan Dennis. Dennis 3-on-3. Dennis tried to be too cute with the pass. The referee, though, brings the whistle to the mouth. There's one last attack, possibly. There's no more. The referee, Gavin Ryan, blows full time. And the Cronulla Seagulls have got their revenge from 12 months ago. They've reversed the heartbreak of the penalty shootout of 2022. And they have completed an historic State Cup SSFA Premier League double. It wasn't a pretty grand final. It didn't reach a lot of heights at times. Both sides had opportunities. Possibly Como Ginelli brought more saves out of Ben Andrews than what Como Ginelli did out of Josh Towell. But in the 42nd minute, the challenge by Josh Towell on Dave Watson proved decisive. Referee Gavin Ryan pointed to the spot. Kobe Sharp converted the penalty. And the Seagulls' much vaunted defence, the best in the competition, proved enough in the second half to provide a final score in the 2023 SPL Grand Final of Como Ginelli 0, Cronulla Seagulls 1, and the Seagulls win the SPL title to go with their State Bill Cullinan Cup championship that they won 4 weeks ago. Coach Diaz of Como Ginelli upset with the fourth official. He's making his way out to the match officials now. This could get very interesting just quietly. The fourth official is out there to shepherd referee Gavin Ryan and his officials. But that's not going to stop the referee Diaz. No, he's shaking hands. As has the victorious coach Michael Harrington from the Cronulla Seagulls. It was a cagey, hard-fought grand final. Congratulations to both sides. But in the end, the Seagulls have won the day and they've completed a remarkable season. They won the State Cup in all the senior men's grades. The Opens, the over 35s, the Opens, the under 21s and the under 18s. The over 35s was won by Gaimea United to complete a clean sweep of SSFA clubs winning State Cup titles. They were disappointed in the reserve grade grand final today. They lost a penalty shootout, but they've won the one that mattered. And the heartbreak for Fabio Carvello and Caleb Jewell for picking up losing medals in the reserve grade grand final is going to be more than made up for picking up winning medals in the big one, the SPL First Grade Championship. We will cross down shortly to the presentation area for the presentation of the trophy and the medallions to the winning team, the man of the match and the player of the year awards. And then we will be back to wrap it all up here on shirepremierleague.com.au and shirefootball.com.au as the Cronulla Seagulls win the SPL title. They have defeated Como Ginelli, the minor premiers, in the grand final by a 1-0, thanks to a Kobe Sharp penalty in the 43rd minute. Shortly, the presentation ceremonies will commence. Before the presentation ceremonies commence, let's thank our sponsors one last time, who have been such great supporters all year long. Green Options, horticulturalists, landscapers and irrigation experts without peer to environmentally friendly standards. Multiple Gold Award winners at TLA level. Multiple Curators of the Year at Sydney and Melbourne Premier Cricket level. They look after HBF Park in Perth and Central Coast Stadium at Gosford, the home of the Central Coast Mariners, the A-League champions of Australia. But they can also look after your front lawn, your backyard and your side footpath with just as much expertise. 1300 647 367 is their number. Greenoptions.com.au is their website for a quote. Deploy Football have provided all the footballs you've seen all year long in our coverage, including the Envision brand, one of only 2 Australian brands to have the FIFA ProMark seal of approval. But it's more than just about balls at Deploy Football. It's about boots, shirts, kit, player bags, shin pads, and hoodies, tracksuits, suits and sweatshirts. It's not too late to get a end of season discount quote for 2024. 1800 384 327 or deployfootball.com is their website. And we thank Sophie B Photography as well. Proud local businesswoman since 2009. Headshots, weddings, functions, personal photography and more at www.sophieb.com.au or photo at sophieb.com.au. Here's an award coming for Tom Papa, the Player of the Year award in the men's SPL. Sophie B Photography.com.au, and you can perhaps become one of the 220 local businesses part of the Open for Business initiative that Sophie B started in the pandemic and continues today. Let's go down to the presentation ceremony now.
Thanks, Russell. On behalf of the Southern Shire Football Referees Association, we'd like to thank WMD Law for their generous support 5 years with us now. Their support helps us coach, recruit and develop referees to enhance the game of football here in the Shire. Being good this year from WMD Law is about to present the award to this year's Player of the Year. It's voted on by the referees each week with 3-2-1s. Each game, referees get together, award those votes. It's not about today, it's about the best player of the season. Over to you, Ben.
Thanks, Steve. It's someone to be here on behalf of WMD Law to present this award. And congratulations to Thomas Papa from Como.
thanks again to WMD Law and congratulations, Tom. We now would like to present the medals to our match officials, to our referee, Gavin Ryan. Our assistant referees, Rowan Lilly and Patrick Pike. And our fourth official, Connor Mooney. Thanks very much to the referee. One more award before we call the teams over, and that's for the player of the match. And Andy Head from Deploy is going to award that one.
Thank you again. Cracking game again, boys. You guys, you go at it head to head, and it can go either way pretty much each time. Tonight, pretty tough ask. There was a few boys that played quite well, really. But in the end, I think Seagulls, number 34 in the middle, Jeremy Lopez. I think we're going to have enough.
Right, again, thanks very much, Andy, Deploy. I'd like to now call someone from Como to say a few words on behalf of them and then give out the runners-up medals. Thanks everyone for coming up today, for the support. Always makes the grand final well. Congratulations, boys, in a row against us. Kind of thing. Well done to the boys, all hard out there. Team, the coach, Tony, staff, everyone. We pulled together, but unfortunately didn't get it on the day. But if not, that's you. Have another crack. Thanks everyone. To the team, Jack Carthy, Longo, Andrew, Jacko, Rashid, Cameron, Sparky, Alex, Tommy, Julian, Gareth, Hale, Gold, Rashid, Sandy, Abba, Aldi, Eddie, Jacob, and Ryan. Well done, lad. Very good, yourself as well. Congratulations to Como, all played today, boys. We'll get someone from Seagulls to come up, say a few words, and present the team this meeting.
I just wanted to start out thanking everyone for coming out. Makes today feel that much more special with all the support. Start with Como, really strong season. I think worthy minor premiers this year. All you boys will give the competition in a real good shape and represent really well. So yeah, congratulations. To the unofficial round of the referees, thank you again. Appreciate all your efforts. No, it's not easy. For my boys, I think it's been a pretty special year for us. We've been tested big time. I think we've boys gone away and been injured, and it's just fantastic to be a part of. Big special shout out despite the was now, I know where you are at the moment, and then I know Gail makes you after the Seagulls somewhere. Special season. Love to be a part of it. I'm looking forward to next year. Thank you. Rocky. Fabio. Righto. Oscar. Watto. Right. Caleb. Man of the match, broken nose for me. Kristen. Steve Bennett. Kenny Andrews. Yeah. Hello. Timmy Cavanas. Aji. Yeah, hi. An honorary one for Benny Harrington, other side of the world.
Just the Seagulls captain come back over for me, please. Seagulls. There's one more thing, and again, great game of football from both teams to be congratulated on this. And one more thing to give out on behalf of the Seymour Shaw Football Association and our major sponsor, Green Options. 2023 Premier League Men Premiers for our Seagulls. With that, and the trophy.
And it goes quite nicely with the State Cup title they hold in the clubhouse, doesn't it? A season to remember for the Cronulla Seagulls, winning the double here this afternoon. They won the Bill Cullinan State Cup Grand Final over the Uni of New South Wales Bumblebees in early July. And they've erased the heartache of 2022 with a hard-fought 1-0 win. The Kobe Sharp penalty in the 42nd minute decided the contest in this afternoon's grand final, and I'm sure Tom Papa, penny for his thoughts. Yes, he won the Player of the Year and the Golden Boot Awards, and he sure would have liked to have swapped both of those for one of those premiership medallions that are sitting around the necks of those Cronulla Seagulls players. And Jeremy Lopez was awarded the man of the match in the grand final. Just repeating the scores from all of our grand finals today on this final day of the SPL season. In the reserve grade grand final that started seemingly a heck of a long time ago now. We've been on air for nearly 6.5, pushing 7 hours of coverage today. But in the reserve grade grand final, the Gaimea United defeated the Cronulla Seagulls on penalties after scores finished 0-0 at the end of 110 minutes. 0-0 at full time, 0-0 at extra time. And Gaimea won the shootout 4-2. In the women's grand final today, the minor premiers, Bosco, got a 1-0 win. The Alex Clark goal in the second half in the 73rd minute was enough to see them beat a gallant Miranda Magpies 1-0. And as you've just seen in the big one, the men's first grade grand final, the 42nd minute penalty from Kobe Sharp saw Cronulla Seagulls 1 defeat the minor premiers Como Janelli 0. And so, when the dog caught his tail, he said to himself, this is the end, and this is certainly the end for us for the 2023 season. My thanks to a number of people, to the cameramen who have had the unfortunate task of having to put up with me during the season, Blake, who's been on the camera today, Dan the man, and the other Jimmy, who I've worked with during this season. A big thanks to you. We've trodden the light fantastic on a number of occasions across these grounds of the Sutherland Shire. during this season. My thanks to James Castle, who took the faith in a washed-up, semi-retired rugby league, rugby union caller at the start of the season and made the opportunity available to take up the ball with the world game and run with it. I've given it my absolute best, and I thank you, James, for the opportunity in 2023. We thank the SSFA, the Sutherland Shire Football Association. It's been a different year. They decided against the better judges or the better judgment of some officials and some organisations or some clubs in the SSFA, because change is always a confrontational thing for some people. Against the better idea of some clubs and some individuals, they decided to go in another direction and move away from the previous provider in 2022 to come with us to Jum Media in 2023 for what was promised to be a better coverage and a better service than they got in 2022. I can tell you that predominantly on the whole, we think, speaking to some people here today from the SSFA, that they're very happy with our coverage and our services, and they will be happy to have us back in 2024. That will be a decision that the SSFA will make as a whole across their board of management and their clubs, who at the end of the day had to pay for these services. We are available. We will certainly be more than happy to come back in 2024 if we are asked to do so here at Jum Media. And I thank Jum Media itself, www.jummedia.com.au, for this opportunity this year. And finally, we also thank the various clubs, coaches and individuals who week by week have helped us get team lists at very short notice to try and get most of the players right. We think we've got most of the players right during the season, and we think that we've done our best in that regard, but we wouldn't have been able to do so without any of the help of the players and the clubs and the coaches game on game during the season. And we thank our phalanx of sponsors, Green Options, Deploy Football and Sophie B Photography, without whom we wouldn't be able to give you these coverage. And finally, we thank you, the viewer, the listener. We have had feedback. We have had people watch us overseas, as far as California at times during the season. And the feedback that you, the viewer and the listener, have given us has been why we do what we do. You can watch any of today's matches on replay on demand at any time, as well as any other of our matches that we've covered way back from March 19th when we started the opening round of the new venture on a 35-degree day at Karela, right through to the last minute of the grand final today at shirefootball.com.au and shirepremierleague.com.au. Thank you for your support. We intend to come back in 2024. Enjoy your summer. Hope you back the winner of the Melbourne Cup, and enjoy your summer of football in the A-League that kicks off on October 20 in the men's and October 14 in the women's. And I'll go out on a limb and say, until we come back, we will see you in March for the start of the 2024 season of the SPL and the WSPL. And until then, with the final score in the men's grand final, Como Janelli 0, Cronulla Seagulls 1. For our sponsors, Sophie B Photography, Deploy Football and Green Options, and the SSFA, my name is Tony Dawson. On behalf of Jum Media from Seymour Shaw Park at Miranda, it's good night and goodbye.